of October 2010, Freshbox TV attended a Question Time event held by the Liverpool Youth and Play service at the Town Hall.
Tell us a little bit about this event.
Okay, it's Question Time at the Town Hall in Liverpool. It's aged for 13 to 19-year-olds from across the city, and it's an opportunity for them to have their say and to talk and discuss some key issues for them with councillors and local decision makers.
By and large, the councillors go to it because we like doing it, because you get challenged by the youngsters. They ask you really difficult questions. They've got no preconceptions about being polite or respectful. They just want answers to the questions that to them are the burning issues, like why can't we get a bus from A to B? Why do we have to pay so much for bus fares? Why can't we have more youth clubs? That kind of thing.
Come down at Town Hall just to get some questions across to some councillors, like whether we're going to get a skate park.
I've done 5 question times here at the Town Hall, and most of the emphasis is about enabling young people to ask us the questions that they're concerned about, as well as us to say, where we're coming from politically in the broader sense. I don't mean necessarily party political, but that comes into it. And hopefully, from my point of view, is actually to encourage people to get involved in politics or whatever pitch they feel comfortable.
Today I'm here to ask my questions and to get their views. I would like to see changes, and I know a few other young people around the area, residents, want to see changes.
Basically, it's just to make sure that our point's heard. We spend a lot of time in our community talking to the young children and stuff like that, and so it's just an opportunity to talk to the councillors and finally get an answer of all the questions we ask about.
I would say that it's the perfect opportunity to come face to face with the answer that you've always wanted, whereas otherwise you're going through a third or even a fourth party. So
a lot of the time, councillors don't get a chance to hear the views of young people, and young people don't get a chance to talk directly to their councillors. So through that, they go away and they work together and they try and tackle the issues.
I've given my phone number and my email out to all the young people who wanted it and said, if there's someone you want to follow on, particularly in my locality but not exclusively, here's my number, here's my email, and I met one of the groups within a week of the last event.
Yeah, it's good, because
very good idea.
People can voice their opinions then on stuff like that, what they want and because the council might not know what they want, what needs funding, what people want in the areas.
The more we can communicate with all our communities, whether it's the youngsters, the elderly, whatever, the more we can engage with them and find out exactly what people think of the services that we're providing. We can come up with all sorts of wonderful ideas about what we think's best. The only people who tell you whether it's right or wrong is the people who use the service.
How has it went so far?
It's organised chaos, but then it always is,
I've got a set list of questions coming from different areas, north, south, central, the YAG and the forums, right?
Not very many people are actually asking their own questions that they wrote out. Do you think that's a problem?
Well, to be honest, I think it's good the way they do this in the town hall, and they make all the community come together and be able to say what they want, but I think that it should just be there and then, not prepared.
They've actually circulated some advanced questions, and I prefer far in from the seat of my pants. I prefer the sort of gung-ho approach.
The kind of questions that have been asked already, are they the type that you wanted to hear?
Definitely, there's definitely one that's ruffling feathers about the sports being cut. Basically, there's no more free passes for gyms, and obviously that's a big issue because I've always done sports, and it just, for mental health, for physical health, it's just so important.
The councillors like to use rhetorics and like to just try talking about things that are outside of the point, you would say. Well, you need to focus and get it onto point.
Is there any conflict between your personal feelings and what you politically cannot or can say?
Not really. I mean, occasionally that happens, but I think in life you don't always tell everybody everything that you think, but generally you're not gagged. I've got an obligation as a member of the cabinet to explain the views of my group on things, and sometimes I'll disagree with them. And I'm probably free to say this is what we think as a group. Personally, I think this. We're all questions that were difficult, right, which there weren't easy answers to, and certainly ones that made us all feel uncomfortable at times, which is exactly how it should be.
As the concerns of young people change, sometimes things improve, and what was an issue a few years back isn't as big an issue now. We don't get as many questions about bullying, for example, because I think that's something that has improved. I think there's more concern now about public spending cuts and the effect that that's going to have on youth service and young people.
Well, in the last 5 years, you've seen the budget to youth services significantly cut by the previous administration. It was cut £1 million last year, it was cut £1 million the year before. To us, that's a negative and a retrograde step to take. We think more resources should be put into the youth service and youth provision. The difficulty we've got, we took control in May. We're now facing the government's CSR review on the 20th of this month, which will undoubtedly cut our resources significantly. We need to be honest with them and say, you know, there's things that we can do and things we can't do. Quite often they'll ask us to do things that legally we can't do, like underage discos going on until 2, 3, 4 in the morning, activities where there's no adult supervision, which we can't do. But primarily it's an attempt by the councillors every year to find out what exactly the kids want us to do, and if we can provide it, we'll try and find the resources.